Hey friends, this is Tim, Average Guy here. I wanted to make a video, or I guess a series, just kind of outlining everything that I've learned about OCD and anxiety. I personally struggled with some permutations of OCD. I made a video about it that got a lot of views, but quite frankly, that video I have a lot of, I would say, tension and resistance to leaving that video up, because I think that video is reassuring to people. And as you learn more about OCD and anxiety, you'll learn that reassurance isn't your friend. It's not, reassurance feels good in the short term, but it has a long-term cost. The idea of reassurance is actually lending legitimacy to the thing that your brain is falsely perceiving as a threat. So, but I leave it up there because people say that they get a lot of benefit from it, and there is some wisdom in it, I guess, or whatever. Anyways, but what I want to do with this video is just kind of go through an outline of some of the things that I've learned, a way of understanding your OCD and anxiety, and a way of hopefully by the end of it being able to have choice. That is the big thing here. Being able to choose what thoughts you do and don't endorse. And having a foundational understanding of the two systems in your brain that are sometimes at odds with each other that produce a lot of the distress that you feel. So we'll kind of go from beginning to end exploring this topic, and hopefully by the end you have a little bit more understanding of your own mind, a little bit more understanding of your own anxiety, and a little bit more confidence in facing the things that right now seem so scary to you, and realizing that, you know, just because your brain is telling you something doesn't necessarily mean anything significant about you. And that's kind of the punchline to all of this. Like, just because your brain is telling you that there's an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth, or that, you know, you're insecure about your orientation, or that child is cute, or this is too dirty and needs to be forever washed, or just socially people think you're a dork. Like, just because those things are happening and you're producing those automatic thoughts, that doesn't really mean anything. And we'll realize that this doesn't mean anything because we'll have a lot of examples of this happening. And one really quick example for you would be like, say you stub your toe, right? And you stub your toe pretty hard, and your automatic thought is, I'm such an idiot. How did I not see that? I'm so fucking tired of stubbing my toe. And then your brain's like, oh, and here's the other things that I do that are dumb. You know, it's like, the idea that I'm an idiot because I stubbed my toe, this is a very rudimentary example, but that is, first of all, it's unfair because it's attacking you as a person. You're thinking that stubbing your toe is saying something about you as a person, your personhood, which it isn't. It's a single behavior that is completely divorced from you as a person. You stubbed your toe. It's an objective thing that occurred. In the future, the way to properly deal with that would be, okay, well, in the future, I'd like to not stub my toe. So maybe when I enter this particular room, I'll make sure I look down. Problem over. The unfortunate anxiety version of that is I stub my toe, and now I'm going to attach all this meaning to what my stubbed toe is about me as a person, being lazy or being, you know, unvigilant or whatever it is. But the bottom line is that when behaviors occur, and with OCD in particular, there's a behavior that occurs, or there's a thought that happens, and you falsely associate validity with that thought, and you falsely associate the emotions that occur from that thought as something meaningful about who you are. And the bottom line is that it's just not. The brain produces automatic thoughts. And this is something that Albert Ellis demonstrated with his work. And it's unfortunate because a lot of psychology, especially since Freud, they thought that whole kind of line of thinking is like, we have this unconscious, and the unconscious is somehow this reservoir of deep truth about us, and, you know, the things that the unconscious produces in dreams should be taken very seriously. And at least by Stephen Phillipson's point of view, it kind of set psychology back a decade or so, because, you know, we had the word association thing. It's like, what does this look like? It looks like butt cheeks. Oh, and my mother. Oh my gosh, what's wrong? You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, that was not a valid way of getting to the truth of who somebody is. And the bottom line, as you'll find out, is ultimately the truth of who you are is the things that you choose to engage in, the values that you choose to endorse, the thoughts that you choose to endorse, the actions that you choose to take. Those say a lot more about you than the automatic thoughts that are produced against your will and quite frankly, that are often produced because you've been so afraid of producing them that your brain has started to fixate on them as a problem that it's constantly trying to solve. So anyways, all that said, I'll be covering a lot of different interesting stuff. I'm going to take my time on this. Obviously, if this is stuff that you struggle with, then hopefully you're not looking for a quick fix, because there isn't a quick fix. Let me just, spoiler alert, you're always going to have anxiety for the rest of your life. Like, you're not going to be able to get rid of it. And that's a good thing. You should have anxiety. Anxiety is a very useful tool. What you want to do with your anxiety is just change your relationship with your anxiety. So instead of a dog barking next to your face, it just kind of becomes a fan that's humming in the background of your life. And believe it or not, like, understanding these skills is just going to make you a stronger, more well-rounded individual that's able to help others with this stuff. So if any of this sounds good to you, then watch the series of videos and hopefully you get something out of it, and make some comments if it's helpful. Cool beans. All right.